Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dennis Acuna, and this is my multimedia discussion board presentation for week 2. Okay, my presentation will cover natural law theory, categorical imperatives, utilitarianism, and contractarianism, as well as taking two of these and providing an example in public administration. Okay, with natural law theory, St. Thomas Aquinas, as you can see there, his theory was kind of built on the divine command theory, where um, everything came from God. God is the one that tells you what is right and wrong. But St. Thomas Aquinas realized that how can people follow God's moral rules if they don't know about them? So if you don't know about all the rules in the Bible, if you don't even know what religion is, you still have those moral rules built inside of you. So pretty much, people know what is morally right and wrong from birth. God created life, so we can start with that goodness. Doesn't matter if you don't know about church or the Bible or so forth. Overall, it makes life better. He kind of talked about the 7 basic goods: life, reproduction, seek God, live in society, like living together, avoid offense, educate one's offspring, and shun ignorance. We want to be right. Um, as I mentioned, you don't need religion to be born with this, and this is like an instinct that we're preloaded with. So that's the natural law theory. Okay, next on the list is a categorical imperative. Kind of go through some of these notes here. Morality is a constant and comes from intellect, does not come from religion. Immanuel Kant disagreed with combining, religion and morality. Morality comes from pure reason. It's binding to all. There's no exceptions. So if you morally don't lie, you can't expect anybody else to lie for any other reason. Never okay to violate this law, even if it's for the greater good. You do not violate that. Um, you don't take advantage of anybody. Um, you know, absolute moral worth. Um, and religion is not part of morality. Um, it's pretty much, you can see it as commands that you must follow regardless of your desires. And as I mentioned, I think it's binding to all. You just kind of go with it. You cannot uh, differ from it, even if you're starving. I know there's an example about that. Or if you feel that it's for someone else's benefit, you do not break those moral codes or rules. Okay, next is utilitarianism. Hopefully I said that right. That's a tough one. That's John Stuart Mill. His theory focuses on the consequences of actions, not the intentions. The intentions are irrelevant. You're always seeking happiness and pleasure. There's two types of utilitarianism. The classic is, in any given situation, you should always choose the action that produces the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. So even if you have to sacrifice yourself, you have to break moral code yourself, because it's going to bring happiness or pleasure to a larger group that can enjoy it more than you do it. So it's a little bit different than um, the cooperative imperative with Immanuel Kant, where you can never break that code. So there's a big difference there. The second one is like a rule utilitarianism, where it allows us to refrain from acts that uh, looks at maximizing the immediate for and consequence for the future or for the long run. Um, so it's a little bit less, I guess you say, strict. Um, you kind of look at the consequences and you see that, and if you have to kill one person to save 45 people or a group of people, um, but it's illegal, and for the short term, but long term you're going to be a killer and everybody's going to start killing people, then you don't do it. That's kind of how I see the rule utilitarianism. um, and they mentioned you just want to seek happiness. and pleasure. Um, and one of the principal utility kind of goes to, the produce the greatest good for the greatest number of people. So I feel that this is a good thing. And I know in the video they talked about Batman never killing the Joker. So uh, there you go. Okay, next on the list is from Thomas Hobbes and the theory of contractarianism. I think I said that right. First thing is morality is not divine or natural, so it's not divine command theory, it's not natural law theory, it's on its own. Pretty much there is no morality until we make it, until we enter into an agreement um, or a contract of free will. You must be entering into free will. And morality could change. If your agreement changes, like today you agree that something is wrong or you agree not to do something, and years from now you agree that you're allowed to do it, morality changes. The thing is because you entered into that in free will, you must follow through, and that's the most important thing. It's um, it's completely different than the other ones I mentioned earlier, as far as divine command theory and natural law theory. We control morality. There's not someone or a one being that tells you what's right and wrong. It's kind of an agreement among people. Um, and if we all agree, then we'll all act in a moral way. Okay, on to like a public administration example. I want to use my office. I'm a public administrator. I work with different public administrators, different agencies, cities, counties, states, and even different countries. And I can tie in most of these theories into public administration. Really, the difference between all these theories is the basis or the foundation for what we follow. Contractarianism, to me, is kind of a given. It seems like a given to me that when we work in public administration, either we sign written contracts, agreements, there's verbal, there's just known agreements. When you're working, that what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. You treat everybody um, good. What is agreed to between me and my office people to be morally wrong or right may be different to what other people in other cities, states, countries do. So I can see how it could change, like morality can change, as I mentioned earlier. As far as natural law theory, we all have very similar moral characteristics and moral traits. So that came from somewhere. But I know there's people from all different types, parts of the world, different upbringings, different beliefs. So that came from somewhere. So I feel that we were all kind of instilled with a sense of what's right and wrong. And that's how I kind of pull in the natural law theory. Just looking at my office, I can kind of see both of these. As far as virtual theory, is it in public administration? For the most part, yes. We're all striving to be the best we can be, kind of move up the ladder. Um, I know virtual theory has that the golden mean, where you don't want to be extremely low or extremely high in anything you want to do. You want to find that perfect mean, and that will get you to be, the best you can be. But I feel that in public administration, um, the motives for what people do are always or mostly good, and it's an understanding that uh, what we do is to try to be the best we can be. In closing, I just want to say thank you for listening to me ramble about these theories. I tried to just talk to what I knew about each of these based on the videos and based on a little bit of research online. I do feel that you can relate to a lot of these just by reading this. You can really, reading what Thomas Hobbes or Immanuel Kant or St. Thomas Aquinas did, you can kind of relate to that and see how different pieces of your moral character kind of fit into what they are saying. And it comes down to what you believe. Other than that, have a great day, a great night, and I look forward to watching everybody else's presentations and everybody else rambling along. Thank you.